Okay, welcome to Bubbledome Unity tutorial number 5. In this tutorial we're going to teach you a little bit about prefabs and the power of prefabs. Now a prefab is simply an object that has been pre-created, all its components, and you make a little slot to store it in, and then you can create that prefab in script. Now we're going to just go ahead and do that right now. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to click create, make a new folder, and this folder is going to store my prefabs, any prefabs that I make for my project. I like to keep things organised this way, it does tend to help. Now in the prefabs I'm just going to right click on and click create and choose prefab. Now prefab at the moment is just an empty slot. It's basically somewhere I can stick something that I make in editor, and I'm going to call it ball prefab. Now the ball prefab, as you can see, there's nothing in it, but what we've done is we've made this rugby ball over here. It contains a model. We added to that model a convex mesh collider and a ball script, and we added in the rigid body as well. If I drag this rugby ball right now into ball prefab, it will copy it exactly. So I can delete the one that's there and drag any of the prefabs in, and it's exactly the same as the last one. So if I drag 2, 3, 4 of them in, position them randomly around, play the game, they'll have exactly the same behaviour as all the other ones. So hitting space and they'll all fly off, and hitting roll and bounce as they did previously. Now being a prefab is pretty cool, but the coolest part about it is the ability to create that prefab, and the word that Unity uses is instantiate the prefab, and we do that through code. What we're going to do is just basically I'm going to make myself a new script, create a new C# script and call this script shoot script, and obviously shoot script is going to shoot something. If you one little thing about the prefabs is if you change the main prefab in your project, then all of the other prefabs will be changed in the same way. So what I'm going to do, just for the sake of it, is I'm going to remove the ball script component from this prefab. So when I make any prefab now, you'll see the ball script component has gone. I'm going to use just this shoot script that I'm going to attach to our main camera. If I click on shoot script and continue, it will be attached now to the main camera, which is part of my first person controller. Now the reason I'm attaching it to the main camera is because we're going to use this main camera as to find out which way the main camera is actually pointing, so that we can shoot something off the ball prefab. Now, just like we did in the previous one, we're going to create a public variable, and this is going to be where we're going to store our prefab. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to make it a public transform, and that's basically the base class type for any prefab, and I'm just going to say call it ball. I'll leave it blank, not initialize it, and go like this. I'll save it, go back, and we'll see right now, if we click on main camera, we now have a transform slot that we can store our prefab. If I drag it from here onto there, then this prefab will be created if we use instantiate in code. At the moment I'm not using it yet. Let's just do that. So I'm just nice and simple. We're going to do exactly what we did with the last one. We're going to look for an input. I'm going to choose the get key down. I'm going to do key code. I'm going to choose spacebar again. Start a new block of code, and this is what's going to happen inside here. I'm just going to say instantiate, and then open up the brackets. Now what this allows us to do is choose the position and rotation that we instantiate. So just going to click on instantiate, and the object that we're going to instantiate is ball, which will be whatever is stuck onto the slot, whichever prefab is stuck onto this slot in editor. The position, and we're just going to use the position of the camera, so we can access that through its transform component. Remember, it's small t because it's the component that is associated with the object this script is stuck on, so not the big T but the small t for this one. So we're going to use the small t transform, and we're going to choose position, and then we use the small t for transform and rotation as well, and that allows us just to basically poop out a ball that will land exactly where the camera, the main camera is. I've saved that and go back to it and we'll just test it. Once the script compiles, you'll see we're looking around, there's nothing there. If I hit the spacebar, look behind us, and there's a ball. Hit the spacebar again and we have made another ball. So that's pretty useful, but it's not that useful. We want to add some forces to those prefabs, so I'm just going to show you the slightly complicated way to access this prefab when it's been created. So we've got the ball here. The instantiate function will return an object back from it. If you see in the code, the method Unity engine.object instantiate, the Unity engine.object is the return value. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say here, I'm going to say I'm going to call this transform big T transform and new ball equals instantiate. Now if you try and save this and run it, you'll see you get this little error. It can't change the object into the transform, and it says, are you missing a cast? Now this is a little bit confusing and it should really be an awful lot easier. There used to be a template that you could add in here, which will allow us to save it as a specific type. So we've saved that, we go back, it doesn't like it, so we'll go back again and we'll use an explicit cast just like it asked. So if I start typing in transform in brackets before the word instantiate, then when new ball gets created it will be of type transform, it will cast straight to that type. We go back to Unity and you should see the error down the bottom disappears. It does say that we've not done anything with it, but we do know that it works. Now we can access new ball just by calling it, by referencing it. I'm going to do rigid body, and we'll add a force of 15, 0, 15, 15, force mode impulse. Alright, so this creates instantiates the prefab, calls it new ball, and then adds some force to the rigid body part of the new ball object. So just go back to this and we'll give it a test just to make sure it works and see what it does. If we're moving along, hit the space, the ball flings out and it always adds a 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 0 onto the new ball. So there you go. Last little challenge for you guys. I'll give you a little tip and then I'll leave you to it. Last little challenge before I leave you, and you can check out my next set of tutorials. you need to try and find a way to work out what the forward direction is to add the force in. So if you access the transform of the main camera, somewhere in here is a forward command which returns a vector 3 forward. So instead of using this add force 0, 15, 15, we could quite simply add the transform forward and then the force mode. Now this is only one little thing that we can do that can add a little bit more playability to our game. Now we've got to actually aim. And sharp people out there would have realised that this vector needs to be multiplied by a certain number. I use 15. Let's see if this works. As it compiles, instead of the vector being a single unit vector, it's now got 15, 15, 15 as the value. There you have it. You can tweak this, you can play with it, you can work it out, but basically we have the basics of some games. We've worked out a few how to import objects and how to do some scripting. So I hope you've enjoyed the tutorials, and I'll show you some, hopefully I'll be on YouTube again showing you some more. Good luck.